Hello and welcome to Simply Carrington. I have been enjoying a slower week around our house, just getting some little daily tasks done and really enjoying some time with my son and husband as we continue to prepare for the arrival of our first daughter in just what feels like a few short weeks. Realistically, I could have way more than a few weeks left, but it still feels like it's fast approaching, and as my nesting list gets longer and longer, it seems like there's absolutely no way that I will have time to complete everything that I would like to accomplish before she arrives. But I am definitely very excited to tackle those nesting and postpartum tasks that I would like to have finished before she comes in the next couple weeks. I've spent a lot of time this pregnancy reflecting on how it is compared to my first one that I had with my son, and I also spent a lot of time considering how my friends have been feeling and doing with their pregnancies. It feels like a lot of people in my circles are pregnant or hoping to be soon, and during my first pregnancy, I actually started a note on my phone that I intended to send to just a single pregnant friend, but as the note got longer and longer, I started sending it out to more and more of my friends that happened to have a single unrelated question about something in their pregnancy. Although I am technically a licensed chiropractor, I don't practice, and I have a love for all things functional medicine and health and nutrition. And as the note continued to grow, I began to lovingly refer to it as Your Best Friend's Guide to Motherhood. And the title feels a little bit strong for someone who has only one small child and one on the way. And I know so little in the grand scheme of things and find myself Googling things literally daily, but sharing what I've learned and researched with my friends makes me feel like I'm able to help them in some way, and I love having all my thoughts from my pregnancies written down as well. As I take some time this week to go through my home and complete little tasks and reset the house for springtime, I wanted to share a few things from my quote-unquote guide. So, yay, you just found out you're pregnant and you're really excited. You have not yet started a prenatal. There are quite a few things that you should look for in a prenatal. However, I do want to note that depending on diet, you may be able to skip one altogether, but even with someone that has a pretty good diet, I would consider it to be a good insurance plan if there are any missing nutrients in the diet, and you really can't overdo it with any of these things. So other than perhaps it being a bit of a monetary commitment, I wouldn't say that it's ever a bad idea to take a prenatal. Perhaps the most important thing when looking at prenatals that you might be considering is to really consider what form certain vitamins are in. So you are looking for something with folate over folic acid and methylcobalamin as the source for B12. It seems like it may not be that important, but in reality, a large portion of the population cannot do anything with the vitamins if they are not in those forms, and they just kind of sit and can cause other problems. Another nutrient that I would always be looking for is choline. Although the recommended daily allowance is quite low, there have been several studies that have shown that taking around 900 milligrams a day is beneficial to the overall health of children. So even if your main prenatal does not include it, I would really encourage you to be working really hard to make sure you get several eggs a day, as that's the main source of choline in our diet, and consider supplementing with a secondary choline supplement. I am a huge fan of considering beef liver and organs as a part of your diet, but honestly, I can't bring myself to eat those most days, so we do those in pill form around here. There are several great brands, including ancestral supplements
that are wonderful
and
options.
Heart and Soil. The other two nutrients that I would really make sure you are getting enough in your diet or are supplementing with are DHA, so omega-3 fatty acids, and you can find those in several different types of fish and other foods, but also should be in your prenatal or taken on the side. And also vitamin D. Vitamin D is really something that we get from the sun, but if you're not going to be in a lot of direct sunlight, it is definitely something worth considering a supplement of. I actually take a pretty high dosage of this each day, especially during the winter, but realistically, most people are not getting what they need, especially if you live above a certain point from the equator. In your first trimester, you might really struggle to actually be able to even take your prenatal, so just know that your body will pull from its stores to make sure that your baby is getting everything it needs. So as frustrating and scary as it can be, know that you are not going to really harm what is going on in your body by not being able to get down a multivitamin each day. Just do what you can and really try to get in good nutrients when your body allows it. When it comes to that pregnancy nausea and also the fatigue that no one talks about during the first trimester, there are a couple of different things you can try that may help negate some of that nausea. Taking B6 several times a day has been shown to help a lot with nausea. B12 can be a beneficial vitamin to supplement with in order to get rid of some of that fatigue. And magnesium and ginger have also been shown to help keep nausea at bay. Also, a small side note that chiropractic and acupuncture can both be really helpful during the first trimester for these kind of issues or just other issues you might be facing, so please give it a consideration at least if you are struggling. Lastly, when it comes to all things nutrition in pregnancy, I really would recommend you go and check out the book Real Food for Pregnancy by Lily Nichols. I defer everything to her when it comes to pregnancy nutrition. She has done a lot of research and really made sure to make it so easy to digest, and a little bit intended there. It has definitely played a huge role in how my pregnancy has gone so far. This time around versus last time, I feel like I have felt so much better following more of her advice, and definitely eat a lot less ramen this time around. I don't feel like I am struggling nearly as badly as I was with my last pregnancy with what to eat, when to eat, and generally feeling well. And I think a lot of that has had to do with following the advice of Lily Nichols and all the research and data that she pulls from. If nothing else, I would recommend that you make sure that you are getting enough protein daily. The little bit that you think you're getting is definitely not enough. You should be aiming for at least 100 grams a day, if not higher. But quite honestly, no matter what stage of my life I'm in, I am one that loves a sweet treat, and I am not willing to give that up. So enjoy the occasional treat, or even for me, it feels like I'm having a daily treat at this point in my pregnancy. Homemade whipped cream will always take precedent for me over almost every other type of little treat. So make sure to enjoy something like that with some berries or something else that you would like, or even on a spoon. And I hope to see you again soon.